Binance put out a wonderful research piece here today on decentralized science from challenges to opportunities, how DeSci reimagines science. I'm going to read you through this article and then we'll talk about kind of the current state of the decentralized science landscape and where I feel things are headed based off my experience in the markets. This came out on January 27th. However, today they posted Binance research that is posted a nice long thread highlighting how DeSci is solving the Valley of Death. It has been quite some time since we've talked about the Valley of Death here, but you guys are very familiar with that concept, and we'll outline it here in this article today. So, couple key points in the beginning. The scientific research process faces significant challenges, particularly in translating basic research into practical applications through translational research. The, quote, Valley of Death leads to 80 to 90% of research projects failing before ever reaching human trials, with only 0.1% of drug candidates becoming approved treatments. Despite a lot of candidates for different therapies showing promise in the initial phases of research and development, a lot of them die out in this Valley of Death concept. So this has a lot to do with misaligned incentives across academia, funding bodies, and industry lead to challenges such as a lack of funding, reduced collaboration between scientists and clinicians, and poor replicability and reproducibility of the scientific findings, causing most research to falter in the Valley of Death. So things that get funded are things that have already shown to be fruitful because we don't have as much of a risk in funding something if we already know what the outcome of that is likely to be, but this often leads to researchers just completely faking some of the research so that they do seem more easily fundable. And then we get that reproducibility crisis, and the reduction in collaboration between scientists and clinicians is just because everyone's on their own little siloed world. They're all doing their own things and focused on their own individuality despite coming together as a giant community, which is what a lot of decentralized science is focused in on. So one thing to note in DeSci, it is a movement that leverages the Web3 stack to create a new scientific research model that can tackle the challenges above. By using decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, blockchains, and smart contracts, DeSci can solve the key coordination problem. This enables different groups of stakeholders to align their interests on capital formation, providing incentives to see research through to the clinical stages. They've identified 4 key areas of innovation across DeSci landscape: infrastructure, research, data services, and memes. Now, very important that you guys understand this. While the market looks like shit and feels like shit, the smart money, the people who have their actual feelers out in the market for investment opportunities, are continuing to dive deeper and deeper into decentralized science and showcase the importance of paying attention to this booming industry. While the market looks like it's down, a lot of the development happening is still going on, and they are still growing and making the partnerships that are necessary. It's just that we're in a very unique spot in the market right now. So these 4 key areas, if you want to kind of follow smart money, you would follow these 4 areas because they're blatantly telling you these are the areas that they want to focus on. So infrastructure includes subsectors like funding platforms and DAO tooling, which form the building blocks for DeSci DAOs. Research includes grassroots DeSci communities, just like DeSci Shillers, that host events globally. Every single day, actually, we host an event for DeSci Shillers, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about decentralized science here on this channel. If you like that kind of stuff, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And DAOs to formalize aligned interests from multiple stakeholders. So one of the things that I think is important to highlight here is that money will often bring people together if there's a shared way of kind of earning and enhancing that capital allocation. If we can actually come together around money, you can actually utilize it the way it should be more efficiently than if everyone's siloed and trying to be greedy and just doing it for the sake of earning their own individual money. But by using DAOs and by using open source, open access blockchain tech, you can actually align incentives. And we've seen this in DeFi as well, but now it's coming into DeSci. And then, of course, we have data services, includes publishing and peer reviewing platforms that enable open access to scientific publications, and data management tools that provide strong data integrity and the access controls for collaboration. One of the big things in healthcare, at least, which is a big part of what DeSci is going after, that drug development market, is that every country has different ways of dealing with client or patient data. And so blockchain allows you to do that zero knowledge proof stuff where you can prove you know something without actually proving how you know it, meaning that you can remove those personal identifiers from the information, but still use that information from the patients in research studies. So you can actually mobilize some of that data for the first time in human history. Then we have memes directly contribute funding to scientific experiments. Yeah, we talk about memes a lot. You guys are probably pretty aware of memes. And while the existing stack can already support basic and translational research, it caters less towards clinical research, which is where the products have been direct benefit for their patients. To sum it up, decentralized science is already mature enough to impact the way scientific research is being conducted today. While there are some gaps and challenges in the current landscape, tackling the valley of death in research is already a huge step forward. They posted a good little photo here, so we'll take a moment and look at it. The basic science in academia, where you get that first initial funding in order to research new novel ideas and new novel therapies or compound mixtures. But then from there, regardless of if it looks promising or not, they often run out of money. And in that translational period where you're going from just in the lab to practical IRL use cases, a lot of stuff just dies out and doesn't have enough funding to continue moving forward to actually bring a product to market. And so that's what DeSci is kind of stepping in and using things that have already shown to be very promising and just kind of like giving it that extra boost to get it to industry and then create that flywheel, which inevitably, as you guys know, flywheels are very hard to get rolling, but pretty easy to keep rolling, hard to stop once it gets rolling. So I also saw while I was reading this that they have a nice related post from challenges to opportunities, how DeSci imagines. Nope, I just read that one. Okay, never mind. We'll just stick to the initial purpose of the video. So one of the things in DeSci, the current landscape right now, we're sitting back under $1 billion market cap, which can be a little bit disheartening considering we were up over 2 billion not that long ago. So DeSci as a whole category is seeing like 60 to 70% drawdowns in all of the players, and that is not at all being discriminatory towards any of the players. They're all having a hard time out there. So things this week look like they're starting to pop off a little bit as far as some of the major movers or the major market cap drivers. All the charts look pretty much identical, with this last couple days us looking as if we're finding a bottom in things like bioprotocol, down only 9% on the week, up 6% today, chilling at $250 million market cap, which is quite impressive. Then we got Hippocrat at 59 million. We got Axon Dow at 52 million. We have Yes No Error up 87% today. You can tell the AI narrative is starting to catch on a little bit again, but AI also took an atrocious hit. Yes No Error is booming today because of a billionaire, the co-founder of LinkedIn, I believe, shouted out Yes No Error very casually, as it is very impactful in helping with academia. All of these projects are extremely impactful. The thing is that all of it is built on top of Web3, aka crypto, and crypto, unfortunately or fortunately, follows the king, Bitcoin. When Bitcoin does well, crypto does well. When Bitcoin doesn't do good, crypto doesn't do good. And that is accentuated when dominance, Bitcoin dominance, aka its percent of the market cap for the broader crypto market, is trending up higher. This is dominance on the 4-hour mark. And while it looks like after this giant move up, which was a capitulation moment for a lot of the altcoins, utility or memes or AIs or DeSci, it didn't matter. This destroyed most altcoins, and now it looks like it's starting to break down and have a bit of a downward momentum move pick up. It looks like it's starting to accelerate a little bit to the downside, which is good, and you can see it. Bitcoin is picking up a little bit here today. Ethereum's picking up a little bit more aggressively than Bitcoin, so inherently dominance is coming down just a little bit. most of the excitement in the DeSci market will come in periods like right here, in which we see that the dominance of Bitcoin is falling while the price of Bitcoin's kind of chilling or going up. That's the perfect storm. And that historically, every 4 years, has taken place right around the current time that we're in. And so I know that it's very painful, but you look at the last cycle and the cycle before that, right at the start of the post-halving year, which is in this case 2025, we see a top formation happen and then just pure bleeding in Bitcoin dominance, which corresponds with massive uptrends in things like Ethereum. And since most of DeSci is built on Ethereum, you really need to wait until we see Ethereum break out before we get a lot of that price action movement. And I know not everyone is super fixated on the price action of decentralized science. A lot of you guys are here just for the science, which is amazing. Communities get built when prices are going up. It draws in attention intrinsically. People are drawn into opportunities to make money. And then if you have a strong community with a driven purpose, you will keep a lot of those people that come in. You'll kind of see the tourists and get some permanent residents from it. So make sure you guys are positioned nicely and just get ready. I have that feeling in my core that this capitulation moment was exactly that, the end of that bleed, that down market, that disgustingness that everyone was feeling. And I think we'll come back to this pretty shortly and see some crazy numbers putting up on this screen here. We will not be seeing 900 million for much longer, in my humble opinion. Time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. Again, the key players in the landscape of crypto, the largest voices of reason who focus in on research and development and just the fundamentals that drive the market are watching Decentralized Science. Therefore, I'm also watching Decentralized Science. I'll see you guys in the next video.